Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. We know that winter's coming because we've had to close our greenhouse doors up. My son's got a fire going back there, if you can see it, and we have about 35 degrees outside, so mid-30s and stuff like that. So we're out here cooking early morning. It's about 6:30 in the morning or something. The sun's just starting to break, and it's a cloudy, overcast day, kind of sprinkling outside, so it's a perfect day to come in and warm up the greenhouse and do a bunch of work. So we're out here planting and transplanting a bunch of plants that are cold weather and going in the greenhouse. We're going to be removing all of the fish from their various water features all over the greenhouse here and our small greenhouse, and we're going to be installing and setting up all of our cold weather heating and free heating experiments. We like to do everything as cheaply as possible here, and best of all, we're going to be showing our DIY organic paint. It is a non-toxic paint that is going to feed your soil, so it is a very cool paint source, and we have used this for years, and I have examples, and we're going to kind of clean those up with water and show the examples. So we've got some biochar we're going to use today. We're going to show our food and stuff. Now, if all of that stuff I'm talking about sounds like stuff you want to watch or would like to learn, then you've come to the right place, because that is pretty much all we do on our homestead. So if you like to watch and learn all about homesteading and doing things cheaper, please hit that subscribe button, and you can take the like button and do with it whatever you want. So as we're getting into this, I'd like to thank all of the subscribers we've gotten recently. We've got a lot rolling up, so I really like to thank everybody as they come on and welcome you aboard. So let's jump right into this and check out the food we're making today right out of the greenhouse. So it's about 80 degrees in the greenhouse. It's about 34-35 degrees outside right now in the country. I mean, it's probably like 40 degrees in town about 10 miles away, but it is definitely cold out here, and we feel the chill in the bones. So we came out, got our fire going, and I'd like to show everybody what we're cooking up here. And I apologize, this is on my methanizer, and you guys probably think we're dirty, but this is a clean plate and stuff, and all clean food, and these are just our own chicken's egg whites here. So we took our own bell pepper, we took our own Caspian pink tomato, and some of our own leeks. So these are our own ramps, actually. They are a wild leek or a ramp, so very minimal ingredients. So we had all our chicken eggs here, and we are saving all these. I just kind of threw them down here as we cracked them and mixed them up. So we've got all of our egg whites for food, and we've got all of our egg yolks for paint. So we've got all these egg yolks, and those are good, healthy, organic egg yolks. So these are going to really work for what we're trying to do here. But before I actually show this egg painting, I'm gonna go throw our food in the pan so we can... Well guys, my son made such a good fire that it was an insta-cook. So I poured that into the hot butter that we had. So we poured it into the pan, and it basically cooked right away. So I've got gourmet food in the greenhouse, and it is literally healthier than anything you're gonna buy at the store. We try and buy everything organic when we do buy butters and milk and stuff like that. We try and do the best we can, and we try and eat the healthiest we can, and we keep our bodies hungry. We don't stuff ourselves, and we kind of ration the food that we do eat, so when we do eat healthy food, our body uses all that energy, and we're creating all those new cells in our body from good, healthy, burnable fuel that was meant to be burned, not all this modified and all this processed stuff that is not good for us. So I don't mean to preach, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. It's very handy to have this stove in the greenhouse, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat my meal, and then we are going to proceed with this video. We spend a lot of time and a lot of energy trying to heat our greenhouses for free throughout the winter times. Whatever passive sources we can build upon to give ourselves more heat and more heat storage into the night, we are going to do all of those things. And one of the best things we've found is by painting our rocks with a black paint. And we're not using any type of toxic spray paint or any crap like that. We are using our very own egg paint. Now I had shown our egg yolks that we've got in here, and those we've got maybe half a dozen to 8 egg yolks or something like that me and my little guy ate. So we have a little bit of biochar, and now I'm not going to really crush this up, but I want to show everybody this here. So we've got our little bit of biochar here, and this sounds like glass because it's like hollow. So you can take that, crush it up, and then you've got your little bit of biochar pigment, or you can take a rubber mallet or a regular hammer. So we'll take the rubber mallet and just kind of smash all of the biochar, and it kind of powders it up. So by using the sun to our advantage, we're able to store all of that extra heat into rock, stone, or sand if you paint the sand inside a structure. Or you could paint a barrel of water like the barrels behind me, or our rain barrel over here. If you take two structures of the same exact composition and paint one dark and one light, there is going to be a 10 to 15 degree difference in the darker, because it is going to hold more thermal energy as heat. That's just a simple science fact there. But water will kind of negatively impact you. We have a huge 55-gallon drum full of water, and it does hold a lot of cold energy. So it will sweat and sweat and sweat till it absorbs all the energy from our greenhouse, and then its ambient temperature is equalized. But it takes a long time for that. So being able to heat those objects up faster than just your greenhouse heating them up by using a little bit more pigment or whatever means necessary, windows and stuff, cold frames. Using anything extra to get more heat in is what our goal is. So we're trying to share all of this. And this paint we use only has 2 to 3 ingredients. Basically, we use our charcoal dust, which is a pigment. So we have to have a pigment. Doesn't matter what pigment you use, can be organic or non-organic. You can buy your own pigments. And we use our egg whites or our egg yolks. So if you use your egg white, it is going to be called a glaire, G-L-A-I-R. So you're going to beat your egg whites and let them sit on the counter in room temperature for about 24 hours, scrape all the foam off the top, and then what's left in the bottom is your glaire. You mix that with your pigment. Once you've got that glaire and pigment mixed together, it is not as durable as our egg yolks. So we use the yolks for outside. Now, if you're going to use the glaire, it would be for like a painting project. It is water soluble, so you'd be using it for an indoor project, something more delicate and fine and refined. So we use all of these egg yolks, and you can see the dark pigment on this rock. So this is, well, this isn't the best example because this is covered in dirt, but this one has black pigment on it because we had painted this black, and then this surface here was painted black also. It has a lot of dust and dirt on it, but that pigment holds. That is a 2-year-old rock that we painted with our own egg paint, and it has held up. We've melted lots of ice and stuff on these, so they are definitely going to hold up. So we're gonna get this going here. I went ahead and I already broke up a whole bunch of this charcoal and ground it down last night, so we didn't have to grind it up on this video, because it can be kind of tedious. And we used our little hammer, and then we used our little mortar and pestle, and it ground it all up. My son helped me. While on the topic of pigment, you can use beet juice, dried clays, different colored clays, or basically whatever organic compound you can find. If you can crush eggshells, white, brown, whatever color eggshells, light blue, there's all types of different ways to achieve an organic pigment. Before we jump forward and mix this up, I want everybody to drop an idea for an all-natural pigment that they have, and I might try it in my next video. I'll pick out some of the best ones and try them out possibly. So everybody drop their comments, and if I use your suggestion, I'm going to definitely drop you in my comments on the video so everybody knows where the idea came from. So let's go forward. We're going to take this pigment, and we're going to use about 1-to-1 ratio on this. So our egg yolks and our pigment, we are just going to kind of sprinkle this in here. You can see a little bit of charcoal dust. So we're going to go ahead and mix all this up. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to stir all this together and just kind of mix it up, and we're definitely going to need some more pigment here. And this is why it is so important to get all the chunks out. You do not want chunky paint, because that chunky paint is not going to stick well, and those chunks are going to flake off, causing weak paint. So we've had good experience with this. I'm going to get this all stirred up and nice and fluid. All right, guys, so this is about the consistency of paint, and this is basically what we've done for the last few years, getting all of these rocks painted up. And I just want to show how quickly that changed the pigment of this brick. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw a little bit thicker of a layer, kind of coat it on. I don't care if I really spill it. You can help me there, buddy. We'll get all these rocks painted up here. Now, this paint today required only 2 ingredients. The third ingredient would be a drop of water. So if you are finding that your charcoal was too much and you had too much pigment powder, then you're going to add a couple drops of water to get it to a fluid, nice paint-like substance. But we had great success with this. We've done this many times. I really want to show a close. I really just want to show a close-up of this. My little guy's still painting the other bricks here. So it definitely made these bricks black. You can see how different the sides are to where the tops are. Now once these dry, we're going to be able to use these to soak up a lot more solar energy, and we'll be able to place them on beds throughout anywhere in the greenhouse. And we can basically put them on the south side of a bed, and this is how we're getting a lot more solar activity to the ground. I mean, the soil is dark, yes, and it soaks up a lot of energy, but this is darker, and it is stone. It is a lot more dense than the ground that we're soaking energy into. So for years now, I've used this biochar as a pigment, and it has worked great, and it has worked flawlessly. That's why it's the only one I really ever use. I've tried beet juice, but that really stains, and it runs too. So we've been able to use these bricks once they dry. We've been able to use them, and we're able to melt snow, melt big chunks of ice. We can spray water on them, and they can be painted on the side of a steel tank, like our big tank down there. And it lasted about 6 months on that tank, heating, cooling every day, every night, and sweating and stuff. So that tells me that is a long-term paint that works. As this breaks down, it is going to feed your soil. All it is charcoal and egg. So it doesn't really stink. The charcoal pretty well neutralizes everything, and it sticks very, very well. And once it dries, it's like hard as a rock. So it is a very, very durable paint source that is all natural, no poison, no nothing, just completely natural, all organic. So I thought everybody would enjoy this. We've filmed this before, but we wanted to get it out here with our new equipment. So I'd really like to thank everybody for watching. We've got a lot of updates coming from the greenhouse, as I stated in the beginning of this video. We've got a lot of heating stuff going on, and we're in the transition of moving and trying to figure everything out with our properties also. We started on our little 1/4 acre property with our tiny little greenhouse, and then we've worked our way up to our large property and our large greenhouse. So everybody that has been here from the beginning has seen the transition and all of the work we've put in, and I'd really like to thank everybody for sticking around and sharing all of our content, liking, subscribing, doing all of those things. We really appreciate everybody, and we hope everybody continues to enjoy all of our content.